Hello everyone, it's Diana Marchand from Raw Foods Made Simple, and this is the second video to the video on making sesame snaps in the oven, not the dehydrator today. So I mixed up my mixture and this is what it looks like. So here we have our sesame seeds, coconut, shredded coconut, unsweetened, and the flax seeds, and then we have the brown rice syrup. I added a little bit of maple syrup because brown rice syrup is actually not sweet. It doesn't taste sweet, so I added a little bit of flavor with maple syrup and sweetness. And then I also added just a bit of vanilla, probably half a teaspoon of vanilla and about 2 teaspoons to 3 teaspoons of the maple syrup. Okay, so I'm going to have my cookie sheet here, my, I don't know how old it is, 20 years old or something, seasoned. And I'm going to just add some, so I'm not going to spread the whole thing for you. I'm just going to start spreading some so you get an idea of what it's like to spread. So as you see, it's very sticky. It sticks like crazy. So make sure you have your thing of water and spatula because you're going to be using that. So to the mixture already, that was a half a cup in my last video, and then I also added another tablespoon of the syrup and the maple syrup and stuff. So I am pressing it into place. So you kind of push the mixture into a corner. You don't lay it in the middle and spread it because you want consistency in how thick it is, because if there's too much inconsistency throughout the cookie sheet, then it's going to cook at different times, so you're going to have some areas that burn, which is kind of naturally anyways, because when you're doing this, the outside of the cookie sheet cooks faster, therefore it tends to burn a bit. The middle will stay soft and not really cook. So as these are cooking, or when they look like, oh, the edges are getting all brown, you take the outside pieces out, and then you put the middle part back into the oven until it's done to the right consistency. So I'm probably going to make these, I wouldn't make them too thin because these are not as dense as those sesame snaps you buy at the store. These will be a lot lighter and a little bit fluffier and also taste way better. They're definitely not as sweet. The thickness, probably about like that. Probably about that thick when you're doing it. So that's about what you want. So then basically, as you can see, it's in there. It's already sticking really bad. It's okay, I haven't found that water bothers it too much at all. So, and you pat it, you kind of push it and pat it. And you press, press, press. Tuck the edges in. So it's nice clean edges. So usually I have it flat, but I'm just showing you, so that's what it's like. Don't get it too thick. Won't have a lot of flavor. It's much better if it's a little thinner. But if you're really unsure, I would do half a cookie sheet in one thickness, half a cookie sheet in another thickness, like even separate them so you have 2 complete batches. And then you can test how thick something is. Usually what I do is I will separate this. I'll do this part of the cookie sheet and then this part sometimes, because the middle doesn't cook very well. That way, the smaller batch, it cooks more evenly. So it's basically just pressing it, moving it into place, and then just adding more batter until you've covered the area you want, until you've used all the batter. And then it goes into the oven. Now what you can do is you can take a knife once you've got it all laid out, and you can score it into little squares. So you could do that if you want. And then once you got it all scored, you'll see that the edges have all lifted up. Then you just pat it down. You just take it and pat it down like that after you've made a whole bunch of little squares. Just pat it, and that'll just get everything even again. So it's actually going to be cut before. When it goes into the oven at about 300, we're going to put it at, you will notice that what will happen is it'll start to bubble up, so you'll get like waves. What you do is you take it out of the oven when it does that, and again you just pat it down so you don't get any air bubbles in it. You just pat it down and then put it back in the oven. So that's natural. That'll happen with the sesame snaps. Doesn't happen with the granola bars. So you just pat it down in place, and then this brown rice syrup, it's soft when it's hot. When it cools, it gets hard. So when you take these out of the oven, put them on somewhere and let them cool for a little bit, and you will see that they will harden up. And then break off the pieces that are done and put the rest back in there. So that's how you do it. Good luck. I hope it all turns out. Let me know how it works.